Hello, once again to Codeweaver Plays Games. Yes, I am back for an afternoon stream because I took a little bit of time off, and this is my way of getting right back into one of my favorite games, which we're going to stream right now, Outer Wilds. Yes. So, for those of you who don't know this game is, in fact, a sort of a space adventure archaeology investigate what happened with ancient civilization in a very small solar system sort of game. And I'm going to say up front before I do anything more. Spoiler alert! So I have already played through this game, but I haven't played through it in VR, which is what I'm doing here. Obviously, you won't be able to see it in all its 3D goodness. That would have a lot more work by me. But you'll be able to see me look around and interact with a space that I have never seen in all of its stereoscopic glory. The game is not naturally VR. It has a VR mod, which you can find if you hunt around for Outer Wilds VR. And the mod is actually really, really good. I would have not said before this that a VR version of a non-VR title really adapts all that well. It's not all that extraordinary effort. Certainly not what the original source code, but somehow the author of this has done it. So it is called Milai VR, and you should go take a look at it. It is absolutely fantastic, and it's getting a little bit polished. And so we're going to do that. Okay. So among things that we have, this is what we do. Gonna test my voice right up near the microphone where it's supposed to be. There we go, and I can hear echo of my own voice. So I'm going to turn off my backup monitoring of the stream, and yeah, we're going to get right on into this. So here's how this is going to work. I am going to play this in VR, which means I cannot monitor the chat window properly, but I am going to pop out the chat into its own window, make it fairly large, so that I can see if anybody shows up. And I'm going to be setting a timer to check it about every 10 minutes. It's about the best I can do. I can't figure out a way to get the chat to pop up in my VR headspace. And that's just the way it's going to have to be. So if you pop in, not that you're going to hear this before necessarily being able to say hi, but that's the way it's going to be. For those of you watching it afterwards, you're going to hear beeping as my timer goes off. So before we do that, I'm going to just try to make the chat room text just a bit bigger. Some effort. So that I can easily look at it at a glance while it's sitting on my desktop. There we go. That should be good. I'm almost ready to actually get into the game proper here. So turn down the volume on that so that I can make sure the video stream is still working. Great, we're all good. So here we go. Once again, if you have any intentions, okay, so yeah, spoiler alert. Again, if you have any intention of playing this game, just go and get it. I know you have no reason to trust my word on it because I'm not really any sort of a well-known YouTuber at all. I just do this for giggles, but it is such a fantastic game and it's very lore heavy, and everything about the lore matters to the game, directly or indirectly. And it's a shame if you encounter stuff while I'm playing when you should be going out and trying out this amazing game. That being said, if you're still here, this is for you. Now, one of the gotchas is that I'm occasionally going to have to clean my lenses, because if I ever put this thing on my head, it is unfortunate that I may occasionally make the lenses a little bit foggy. Other problem is that I don't remember how to control this very well in VR yet. I played it so much in normal play that controlling a spacecraft I'm about to get into is going to be interesting as I relearn how to do all that again. It's been about a couple of weeks before I've done this in VR. So we are at the primary campsite, and one of the characters... VR controls are a mod. It does have ordinary rotation controls, like you might find on a controller. I don't like that. I wish it had snap rotation. Maybe I can convince the author to add that in, where you get like very quick snaps of 10 or 15 degrees before, 20 degrees. That's a little bit better for some people in VR. I'm going to try to actually walk around. I've got enough movement space that I can walk around at least somewhat in my open VR space. So that takes care of, to some degree, the issue of vertigo. And I may have to spend some time tweaking the performance characteristics of my headset on this game, so it's a bit smoother. But I'll do that between sessions. Let's just get right on with this. One of the characters that we have that is not as smooth as I would like. I will have to fettle with this. Just take a quick look around. It's not bad, but linear motion is a bit on the wobbly side. Well, we'll see how much of this I can take in its current state. I've been fiddling with my settings in order to get various VR games to work to various degrees. Because, especially for this one, it's not meant to be in VR, so it's a little bit more twitchy than most. Wow, that is really lovely to look up into. Looking past these beautiful trees. You see the interloper chasing off after the, I've forgotten all the planet's names. How could I possibly do that? Dark Bramble, thank you. And there's the Attlerock zooming overhead. Right, with I think Esker is the name of the individual on that particular body. And here is our buddy Slate. Let's see if he has anything interesting to say to us. Do you? B button, talk to Slate. There we go. There's our pilot. There's our pilot, ready to get this beauty off the ground. We've already talked to him several times because of the nature of this game. This is going to be pretty much always the same. Hey, what can I do you for? All right. The sun is going to go supernova, by the way. Oh yeah, the observatory has an exhibit about that. Between you and me, I glossed over some of the finer details. Astrophysics is really more Harmfeld's domain. Me, I'm here for the rocket science and the marshmallows. That's true, and we are here, in fact, at the campfire. So we are going to roast a marshmallow because that is what we clearly need to do when we are at the campfire. So here we go. This is just an Outer Wilder rite of passage. This is making the perfectly toasted marshmallow. One of the things that I didn't know when there we go. That mechanism doesn't always work. The eating of the marshmallow in VR. Sometimes it does. Oh, no, that's because that's just the extra marshmallow? Ah, there we go. That's perfect. Well, we don't actually need to, so we're going to put this away. So click on the X button. Yeah, there we go. Still figuring out the controls, or rememorizing the controls, as it were. Oh, wow. Okay, well, let's go and take a look at the spaceship and see where we want to go. Now, one of the things I've done, so in previous playthrough, which you can find on my YouTube channel, which you can find connected to this channel, the Twitch channel that this starts on, I have the archives of the previous episodes. They don't stick around Twitch for more than about 2 weeks, so I try to keep them archived. You can go see me explore this absolutely lovely village, so check this out. Oh, jeez. Oh, that was a little quick. Yeah, you have no idea how much sort of the depth below me here matters when you can see it in 3 dimensions properly. I am looking around. Oh, there is the little probe that is perpetually orbiting the planet, providing photographs, which you will know about if you investigate this lovely village. I have explored all this and some of the planets, mostly Brittle Hollow and the Attlerock, in previous episodes. So go take a look at that. I have played through this all before in normal PC mode. Totally worth playing in that mode. You don't need to play this in VR to appreciate it. But that's why I'm doing this, because that's a new experience for me. So here we go. Haha. Let's go pick up our spacesuit. That's fantastic. B button to suit up, and long press is gear options. I gotta try to get a handle on this. So that's that's jump. And I'm actually gonna get out of my ship just for a moment here. Come on. Thank you. Just to practice a few things here. This is jump. Going to be constantly hitting that accidentally. That's just the menu, and I don't need to worry about that. This is... That button is nothing on that controller just at present, but it is my motion around. Oh, that goes into the map. Pressing on the left-hand thumbstick goes into my map. That's good to know. So there's the solar system we're going to be poking our noses around on. Okay, so that's my... I think that's my rocket, but I don't have enough thrust without the booster to get up off the ground. So there's rocket and booster. Nope, hang on. Rocket... A button. Rocket and booster? No, rocket and booster. There we go. So it's the jump button after I activate the rocket. And with the rocket, I can move around a little bit once I'm in the air. So there we go. Okay, so those are the things I'm going to need to know when I'm on the planet. So, all right, we're going to get back into the spacecraft and see where we can go from there. So we're going to get back into the spacecraft. We are going to... really will have to work on that frame rate issue. It's a little bit twitchier than I would like, because I've been fettling a little too much. There it is, B button, refuel jetpack. So let's just make sure that that's all set up. So one of the things that I did was I made sure that I did not check the computer. Hang on. Are you going to let me? Yes, there we go. B button, view ship's log. I have not updated this since the last time I finished a mission, so all of this is going to act as a recap from the last thing that I did. And I uncovered a lot of little bits, because I uncovered quite a bit of stuff in on Brittle Hollow, which was one of my chosen major locations to visit last time. And so quite a bit of comprehensive stuff going on there. You see all of these things popping up as individual pieces of knowledge. All right, so we are going to take a moment to quickly investigate this. So that's the scroll. I need zoom views to click the X button. Need to be able to zoom in. How do I zoom in? There we go. All right. So let's talk about this. This is mostly Brittle Hollow here, so let's start with the old settlement. I love the old settlement because while there's not a lot of like high tech or major civilization there, it's the beginnings of where the Nomai landed when they got to Brittle Hollow, just after the crash that they had. So let's go start taking a look at this. Can we B button to view the rumor? Yeah, all right. The Nomai survivors who crashed on Brittle Hollow climbed down the cliff of a shelter site below the surface. Okay. That selected that rumor of what I really want. No, that's not what I wanted at all. That was the back out button. Figuring this out in VR is a little bit tricky, because it's not its native behavior. Oh, yeah, okay. So in order for this to work, I have to get the crosshairs of the center to actually be centered on the thing I want to talk about. So there we go. That's why that's not working. It's not where my laser pointer is pointed for this interface. More is the pity. Not the perfect VR interface, but still pretty good. So now that I know that I have to make sure the crosshairs are there, here we go. The Nomai constructed a temporary settlement between the crashed escape pods. The Nomai worked together to recall an eye-shaped signal they encountered while aboard the vessel. The signal was somehow older than the universe itself. The Nomai decided to call it the Eye of the Universe. Okay. We're also going to check out Escape Pod 1, since that's the escape pod that crashed at the old settlement. Here's what we learned about that. One of the Nomai escape pods that crashed into our solar system. All 3 escape pods were launched from something called the Vessel, which was badly damaged. Okay. We also learned about 2 other escape pods, but we're going to go through the storyline here to get an understanding of that. This is a mural of a Nomai vessel encountering a signal. This is out in deep space somewhere. This is a mural of Dark Bramble ensnaring the Nomai vessel. This is when they arrived to try to look for this signal. They got caught by Dark Bramble. A mural of 3 escape pods evacuating the Nomai vessel. Now you can see, if we zoom in, 2 of the escape pods got away and one of them got trapped. One of the ones that escaped was escape pod 1. The other one, the other two, were escape pods 2 and 3. So let's start with this one here. One of the 3 Nomai escape pods landed somewhere in the Hourglass Twins. We have not been here yet, but we will. Possibly today. Here we are. One of the 3 Nomai escape pods never made it out of Dark Bramble. Alright. So that's our knowledge about that. Now, in the process of that, we also understand that there is a main vessel that the 3 escape pods escaped from. Let's look at that. The Nomai warped to the solar system in a spaceship called the Vessel. They were attempting to follow a signal from the Eye of the Universe. The vessel crashed somewhere in Dark Bramble. The vessel's warp core broke when the ship crashed in Dark Bramble. Alright. We also took a moment to visit the Hanging City, which is the sort of, it's the major city that they migrated to after the old settlement when they decided they needed to set up a permanent settlement rather than just wait for rescue. So, going here, a Nomai city fully suspended beneath Brittle Hollow's northern glacier. The city is divided vertically into 4 districts. I found... Oh. Okay, I gotta scroll. How do I scroll? That way, there we go. I found a switch in the Meltwater district that raises and lowers the Black Hole Forge. The Nomai debated how to obtain the powerful, highly advanced warp core required for the Ash Twin project. At this point, we don't know that much about the Ash Twin project, aside with the fact that it needs a lot of ore to fully protect the project somehow. The Nomai traveled to the solar system in pursuit of a signal from something older than the universe itself. They named the source of the signal the Eye of the Universe. Okay. We have largely explored all of the things revolving around the old settlement, and many of the things regarding the Hanging City, but a few things remain. One is the anglerfish fossil. The Nomai learned how to evade anglerfish, theoretically at least, by studying an anglerfish fossil they found on Ember Twin. We haven't been to Ember Twin yet, but that's going to be an important thing to look up. And this is a great way to segue into needing to find out about the anglerfish. Now, we learned about this by way of some great wall entries from some of the scientists and denizens of the Hanging City, probably a generation or two, at least a generation after the initial crash. So it's really interesting that in order to find out information about this, we actually have to go and research stuff back in time, because they were talking about things they had already discovered. I love how investigating this universe involves looking at things that happened at various points in time and then having to connect them either forward or backward to get the cohesive story, but it's not stopping you from finding out about it in any order you like. The Black Hole Forge. What did we learn here? The Black Hole Forge is suspended below the Hanging City. We've seen that when we can make it go up and down. I found a switch in the Meltwater district that raises and lowers the forge. The Black Hole Forge district is the highest district in the Hanging City, and a Nomai named Poke planned to create a new advanced warp core in the Black Hole Forge. Again, we learned this in some of the great wall bits of wall text, scroll walls, describing some of the sort of suppositions the Nomai were making about what they might have to do in order to make the Ash Twin project work, and the fact that the only warp core that was advanced enough was the one originally part of their vessel. And could they go and recover the vessel? Probably not. Could we make a new one, maybe at the forge, and so on. So much material that's not described by this, but this is a good reminder of what we've learned. We also discovered some incidental stuff tying in directly to the quantum moon. So let's check this out. So the Northern Glacier. This is, again, on Brittle Hollow, but it's not directly related to these other bits of knowledge. It's actually more related to these story beats up here. So what we have here is the North Pole of Brittle Hollow is covered in snow and ice. There's a uniquely shaped Nomai ruin on the surface. The Nomai were able to warp here from the White Hole Station. This is where they first recreated warp technology. That's kind of cool. The White Hole Station. Every Nomai warp tower is tuned to a specific astral body. To use a tower, you must be standing on the warp platform during the tower's alignment with its corresponding astral body. The alignment happens when the astral body is directly overhead. The Nomai noticed something strange. Warped objects appear to arrive at the receiver in Brittle Hollow slightly before they departed the White Hole Station. This negative time interval between an object arriving and departing was incredibly minuscule, roughly 100,000th of a second. The Nomai were skeptical that their equipment could even measure time to such a small degree. Fair enough. that also led us to knowledge that there existed a high energy lab, although we haven't been there yet. And what this says is, the negative time interval measured at the Whitehole Station was further investigated at the high energy lab in the canyon at Ember Twins Equator. So that's somewhere that we can go. We have hints that this is a thing we might want to investigate, which is why I love this method of quest navigation. Let's pop over here briefly to see if there's anything in here that we uncovered. Nothing new, strictly speaking. So what did we learn about this? Because we encountered references to the Quantum Moon all over Brittle Hollow and a few spots in Timber Hearth. So the Nomai in Brittle Hollow observed a phantom moon that would sometimes appear in the sky. Alright, that's all we learned about that. How about this? This tower, located on Brittle Hollow's equator, held useful knowledge for Nomai embarking on their first pilgrimage to the Quantum Moon. Alright. And also, sorry, there we go. A strange rock shard that wanders when nobody is watching. This is the quantum shard, I think, that we found on Brittle Hollow, near the tower. The Nomai determined that the shard is the reason objects in this grove behave in a quantum manner. The Nomai hypothesized that this shard is actually a piece of the Quantum Moon. This shard emits the same signal as the Quantum Moon. And I've just realized that I have not turned on my timer to look at the chat room, but now I have. And now I'm back. So there we go. I'm getting more efficient at this. So that's just to remind me to look at the chat room every so often. Not that too many people are going to pop in. So, quantum signal. The Nomai detected a quantum signal coming from somewhere in Giant's Deep. So we have got... Oh, and possibly there's a link here. I'm seeing a little indicator arrow here. Quantum signal coming from somewhere on Timber Hearth. And I haven't actually searched that down yet, so that's worth possibly poking around to. And I think we have got all of the info updates from our last run. Now, this is primarily all of this sort of exposure of possible threads of questing, if you like, although they're not really formal quests in any meaningful sense. All of these things are places I might want to go looking and for other information, and all of this has come as a result of just stopping off and poking around on Brittle Hollow for a while. I am going to go somewhere new and come back to Brittle Hollow later. So of these threads, the thing that's kind of interesting to me right now, there's a lot of stuff on the Ember Twins that I really want to find out about. But we got information very early on, at the very beginning of the game, that suggests that Gabbro had gone to Giant's Deep, and that he had knowledge of the statues, or was the one who brought the statue back that messed with our heads at the beginning of the game. And so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and investigate him, and consequently Giant's Deep, and the things that are sort of related to this story thread, for example. So here's eye signal locator, Rebeck's camp. This is all from the Addle Rock that we learned, actually. But Gabbro is here. And although he doesn't have a lot of information, Hal says Gabbro went back to Giant's Deep to try to learn more about the Nomai statue. I'm real curious about the statue at this point, because I am reminded from at least some of the interactions that I had right at the very beginning of the game that those statues are kind of important. So let's go and check out Giant's Deep and see if that's interesting. That's our target for today. We're gonna poke a little bit around Giant's Deep. So let's see if we can back out of this, if I can remember how to hit the right buttons. All right, here we go. All right, now I gotta relearn how to do this because I've been doing this on the PC for way too long. Let me see if I can situate myself in physical space so that I'm kind of feeling like I'm standing, sort of, or sitting in the right spot here. Get the old... All right, here we go. So, basic boosters up and down should behave a lot like a suit. So, that's up, and once I'm far enough away, that's down. So the triggers are up and down. This is left and right. This is forward and back. That's all good. And this should be rotation, so that's more or less as expected. So let's look around a little bit. We are kind of in orbit around our home planet of Timber Hearth, and if I get enough sideways going here, we probably won't crash back into it. There's Brittle Hollow, but we're not going there. We're going to the one behind it. We're going to Giant Steep. So there is a lock-on button here. And that's us crashing into our home turf because I'm not paying attention. So, all right. So, okay, so this is me manually aligning to the planet. No. The other problem is I've been playing at least one other space game whose navigational controls are different than this, and I have to unlearn one and relearn the other. Pulsar: The Lost Colony, quite a bit of fun. Does have a VR mode, properly designed to have a VR mode, so that's a nice thing. So I'm not using the autopilot. Click X to unbuckle. That's not what I want to do, but anyway. All right, so let's come in along the limb of this planet and just orbit for a second and see what we can see. Now, if we... There we go. KSP, you have done me proud. I have learned how to very roughly do an orbit, if a slightly elliptical one, but that's all right. Now, as we are coming about this, we can notice that we've got the breakup of something over there. And at this point, I don't know if that's necessarily all that super important. Okay, that was not a very good elliptical orbit, but that's all right. There is something there that's in orbit, but it looks like junk. So I'm going to ignore that for a moment. And what I'm going to do is I am going to, I'm going to descend down into Giant Steep. Now, in order to not crash into it, I'm going to want my nose first thrusters to provide some retro thrust as I enter, and then as I get into the atmosphere, if there's a surface, I'm probably going to automatically reorient somewhat, but... Oh, good heavens. Okay, that's a thing. All right, so here we go. Wah! And a little bit of rendering glitchiness as I crash, as my poor computer is hemorrhaging a little bit trying to keep up. Well, that's kind of interesting. Let's go take a look at this. Can I land? That is extremely frightening to see in 3D. Let me tell you, that giant, absolutely enormous tornado. Ho, that's big to look at when it's like right there, feeling like it's tangible. Okay, well, we have another tornado that's heading towards us here. Is that going to be a problem for us? All right, well, I don't know. Let's back out of this. And I've already got my suit on because I always throw my suit on ahead of time. I'm going to take a quick look. Can I get out of here, please? Is there a thing that I can I activate? How do I activate getting out? It's not always 100% clear. Come on. That is not what I wanted to do. Nope. I'm having a little bit of difficulty triggering the exit capacity of this. Where is the trigger volume? Oh, hello. Okay, that's a thing. We are now in space. Right. Okay, so, okay, we are going to have to... Whoa. Okay, that's a thing. And now we're coming straight back down, and we are, wow. Okay, that is extremely disorienting when you are plummeting down and you don't have complete control over your spacecraft. But as a result of this, we see that there's, I'm guessing that's the base of a tornado, and there's jellyfish down there, I guess, and... Oh, yes, I know. I'm behaving a little bit silly given that I know what everything is, but it is fun to at least pretend for a moment. that I don't know what all of this is about. But it is quite nice to see the current. That was, by the way, mentioned back in the village that Gabbro could not push past. And it turns out neither can I. Now the problem is that I need to figure out what button it is that I need to do to exit the craft, because it is not behaving for me. No, it really isn't. Because I got out of the craft when I was Hey, Mr. Know My VR author, this needs to be a bit more reliable, please. Let's see. Now I'm out of my ship, but come on, let me out. Let me out! That's just the jump button. It should literally either be the... No, it should be the activate item button, and it's not letting me out. Why are you not letting me out? There it is. There it was, maybe? And that's just the beeper letting me know to take a look at the chat room, where there is nobody. That's fine. We're going to stop that. We are just going to reset that and hit it going. And that's the way that's going to be. All right. Well, so I am having an interface issue here. All right. Let me try to reset my view in case it has gotten confused. But where my center is, I don't know why that would be. No, that is definitely not the case. And we have hit the point at which the end of the universe has snuck up upon us. That is unfortunate, because I have not done what I set out to do here. I don't remember it being quite this difficult to get out of my craft, and I don't know if that's because I had a major update recently. Oh, there it is, open hatch, but how? Okay. I have to, there it is, so I have to be pointing down at my feet and then hitting the B button, which I was expecting to do, but I have to be pointing more or less face down, or at least getting my head a little bit lower. Is it a head height thing? No, it's not a head height thing. It is definitely pointing down. So I could do, for example, do that right now. I could just do this. So that's what I needed to know, and oh, that's lovely. Okay, right, we're gonna press on. That was something I needed to discover about the tolerances of working on this in VR. Again, the VR mod is not without its hiccups and things that make it a little bit more difficult than it would be if it were a natural VR game. I still swear by this thing. This is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Let's see what it looks like to go through the cycle of the end of the solar system from inside Giant's Deep. Wow. Oh. Oh, that's some kind of intense. All right. So, wow. All right. So, quick checkup. Now that I know how to get out of my ship, that should be a little bit easier. First major hiccup for me. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly check some of my settings. So, just to make sure that I don't have them set to something really daft. So this is basically opening up one of my tools to find out what values that I have that might be set a little bit unusually. No, everything looks pretty good actually. Right, and I really don't want to... reset all of the VR stuff while I'm doing the session. So I will fiddle with that and improve the frame rate, and that's mostly for me, so you're seeing it on a flat 2D screen anyway. I will fiddle with that in order to make it run a bit more smoothly for this before I do my next session, but it's okay for me for now. It's still absolutely beautiful. And so let us go and hop into here, and let's just take off and do the thing again, because that was a lot of fun. Now that I know how to properly get out of my ship, what the trigger action is when you're in VR. The one thing that the mod developer did, which I actually really appreciate, is that they didn't just turn on stereo viewing and call it a day and go home and say, you know what, just use the mouse and the keyboard and you can just look at it in 3D. A lot of games just don't benefit from that. They just, I mean, yeah, it's kind of pretty to look at them in 3D, and then you just never play at that mode again. I guess some people like that. I don't. I like it when there's at least some attempt to get the controls to work nicely in VR. The mod developer has taken enormous pains to attempt to, you know, make that right. Let's see if we can do this a little faster this time. We're zipping past the Addle Rock. There it is. Let's target that, and let's actually see if, so that's the signal scope, where is the autopilot? How do I actually activate the autopilot? Just so that I know that we can do that. Is it this? No, that's to get up and out of the, that's just the back button. I actually do not know how to engage the autopilot. Not super clear to me. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna fly there manually because I know I can do that. And I'm probably coming really close to the sun and not realizing how close to the sun I'm coming. That's all right. Hang on a second. I need to go down, and I think lateral motion is not done that way. Lateral motion is done. Lateral vertical motion is done that way. There we go. Yeah, the developer... Oh, here we go. Autopilot is long press on B and match velocity is B. So if I long press, there we go. That's it. So there's actual lots of hints everywhere. The developer has done a lot of extra work making the interface very VR compatible. And my hat's off to them, because that's what encouraged me to actually play it and stay playing it. Just seeing all of this in 3 dimensions would be great for momentary, like moment-to-moment moments. Just, you know, put on the VR, get a good view of things, and then take it off and play the game. I am encouraged by this too, like the fact that he took the time to do the controls to actually play the entire thing in VR. Now what we're going to do is, on purpose, we are going to... Oh look, there's another craft like ours. We might investigate that later. What I'm after is actually the island we were previously on, because I want to pretend that we got here quick and that I didn't futz around with the controls like a complete noob. Oh, this is just wonderful to fly around, let me tell you. Alright, so, and doink, and we've landed, and now we can get up. Come on. Get up. There we go. Got our suit on. Notice we got 2.7 gravity, so we're not likely to do any gravity stuff anytime soon. So here we go, looking down, like leaning over just a little bit, and we see this queue. So you got an open hatch, and here we are. We are literally on another planet again, barely, apparently, because I apparently don't know how to land. And, oh, hello. So we've got ghost matter. What in the name of all that's holy is that? That is just beautiful. Whoa! Yeah, let's go right back out again, because I just stumbled right into my shit, but check that out. In fact, we're gonna go right over there and check that out, because I'm pretty sure we can swim. Oh. Oh ho. Ho ho ho. Oh, that's a thing to see. All right, so we don't have a lot of thrust. We can barely get off the ground, but oh wow! Oh, that thing is enormous. It's got to be like 50 feet high. Oh wow! I haven't quite got the visuals of refraction to work in VR yet, because there's a little bit of motion as I move my head sort of towards and away from it that wouldn't happen in real life, but that does kind of look like it's trapped behind something solid. It just moves a little too much. But that's just a visual artifact of we just haven't done VR enough yet. That's fine. That is beautiful. That's... Oh yeah, you can see this as I turn my head. It's actually moving the image, and that's because I'm guessing the particular kind of effect they're using in order on a computer screen to get this idea of it being icy and refracting the image differently. Doesn't quite work in VR because you have to do each eye separately, and it's just anyway. It doesn't matter. You know what? It's a mod. This was never intended for. That's still staggeringly tall, and looking right above me, that feels huge. And yes, I'm not unaware that I'm being approached by a tornado. I know it's there. All right, let's we actually have a rare opportunity to get into our craft because we happen to be here, and we're going to get a little bit of ways from this while we descend into the atmosphere so that I can... Oh, that's bad. Oh, several kinds of bad. And that alarm is just my chat alarm, and I will come and fix that in a minute now that I am down. Okay, so hang on. Oh, my stars. Okay, checking the chat room. Nobody's in the chat room. Back into the headset. The first time I ever tried to do the whole cycling alarm thing, it was a real headache. I did not have the right planning laid out how to do that really quick. Now I do. So we're just going to get right back out there. We probably don't have to repair the ship on the grounds, and I'm likely to die here, if I'm honest. Yeah, hang on. Press B, and there we go. Now we're down on the surface. That... yeah, that is still amazing to see. Absolutely amazing. So, coming through here, we notice that this is all looking very possible ghost matter-y. Now, these crystals are sort of an after effect of the ghost matter. They don't necessarily mean this is where the ghost matter is. But we're going to grab our signal scope, and we are going to use it in photo mode. Grip, right-hand joystick, no, right-hand joystick? How do we... Oh, there? There we go. And then B button. There we go. I love this, by the way. They built this mechanism. Ability to grab things and move this around. This all had to be done by the VR guy that was never in the original game. This is great. The VR mod guy. Whose name I should memorize so I can stop referring to him or her as VR mod guy. Or lady. Or what... Never mind. You know what I mean. Person. Awesome developer whom I want to give a great big hug to right now. Right, so there's definitely ghost matter that's active down that leg, so we definitely can't go down that leg. Much as I'd like to, because I'd like to someday see what's down there, but I clearly can't. This, on the other hand, looks like it's clear, so I'm going to put that down for the moment. We have to jump across this, so I have to go trigger, and then A button to fire the booster. Because it's basically trigger jump. So trigger jump, and I made it across. And let's do this again, and this again, and there's no more ghost matter anywhere along here, so this is all okay. Oh, didn't want to do that. All right, so there's no more ghost matter along any of this, and then we end up here. That looks safe because there's no crystal left over. So. Oh, I don't think I didn't... That was not a lot of leeway crossing that gap. I just barely made the edge. Okay, so this is a problem, and... Oh, Oh, that huge tornado is desperately pretty. And check this action out. We got more of this, the icy refraction going on here in the back sort of side of this crystal tower with the, I feel like I'm being dominated by these branches. It's not just looking up and seeing a painting on my computer screen. It's looking up and seeing something that can fall out of my head and crush me. So this again, and this again. There we go. So we can't go that way, and we can't go that way either. But we can go up and around this direction. Badness over here. Oh, and we got oxygen because of the active trees. So that's clean. Ooh, and there's a campfire over there. What about over here? And that's clean too. Okay, so... oh, hello. Okay, so scanning the campsite. It's actually totally clear until we go over there. So we don't go down there, but all of this is okay. All right, so let's check this out. Campfire. Oh, look at that. Late campfire. Well, you see, now that we've done that, we clearly have to roast the marshmallow. But in case there's anything like this that's important, let's do this first. So here we go. Oh, stand back a little bit here. Trip number 4, entry number whatever. Crashes 2, boring crashes 0. Remember to see Slate when I get back. Aha, yeah, all the way down to the core. Consider yourself conquered, Giants Deep. You just got feldsparred. Okay, so there's clearly feldspar's camp. That was one of my that was one of my more dramatic feats, if I do say so myself. Can't believe I wasn't electrocuted. Can't wait to tell Hornfels and Gostin about this one. I guess brute force isn't always the answer. Oh, right, so that's one more off the list. Seems all that's left is the big one now. Dark Bramble, here I come, and we are being launched into space, and that's not great. Whoa. I don't want to get out over ocean, but I don't want to be crushed when I land, so hopefully I can take the impact if I'm close to the ground, right? Wow. Oh, there's a thing that flew by. Maybe that was some of the space debris. And we're partially underwater. Wow. That's a rush. All right. Oh, what? Are we going again? What is this? What is this fresh hell? Maybe not? Okay, maybe not. All right, so while we still have a few seconds, is there anything else that we want to investigate here? We got some jugs of, I'm guessing, the good stuff from back home. Yeah, right. So Outer Wilds Ventures canisters going on here. That's fabulous. And a tank. Can we get something out of this? Yeah, we can get rocket fuel, refuel jetpack. So with the jetpack and the trees, we're actually full to go. Like, we got no worries here. We can camp out here for a while. So this is one of Feldspar's old campsites, and he's specifically mentioning a couple of things. One, that he conquered Giants Deep and implies maybe that he got to the core, but we don't know how. Something else about it being electrocuted. Maybe it has something to do with jellyfish, or maybe there's electric eels down there. We don't know, but there's definitely something about that on that tape. And there's also something about going to, what was it? Did he say where he was going? Let's go check that again. Boring Crash 0, remember to see Slate. All the way down to the core. He got to the core. Okay. That was one of my more dramatic events. I can't believe I wasn't electrocuted. The jellyfish and the planet's core look like there's some electrical stuff going on down there, maybe. I can't wait to tell Hornfels and Gostin about this one. I guess brute force isn't always the answer. So there's a sneaky way to get in there. Right, so that's one more off the list. Seems all that's left is the big one now. Dark Bramble, here I come. So he is literally off the Dark Bramble. And so if we want to find out his secrets, and we can't figure it out ourselves, we're going to want to have to go find Feldspar. And he is in Dark Bramble. And that is potentially a problem because that place is scary. Now, just double check this again so I don't hurt myself. Yeah, so we don't want to go down through there. So we're just going to walk back the way we came. I have no idea where my ship ended up. It's actually 58 meters away. And it looks like it's over there somewhere, so, well, let's figure out what we can do. Can we actually get up on top of this thing? Oh god, no, not really. Kinda? Oh, no, very no. Alright. So yeah, electricity going on, jellyfish going on, whatever. So there's a thing. See if we can find our ship. Because when we went up that last time, we didn't actually, make sure that our ship got locked down or anything. Where are you? Oh, you're kind of... Oh, you're on the other side of this somehow? Where did you end up? Oh. Well, that's a hell of a place to end up. Awfully convenient for me, too. You know what? I'm not going to look a gift spacecraft in the mouth. Let's, oh, but our cockpit is damaged. Okay. Is that the only thing? Because if we get into space or land somewhere a little less bonkers, I can probably repair it. Let's get our nose tipped. I definitely got an audio blink suggesting somebody's trying to contact me. So, okay, hang on. Let's get up and about. Let's get orbiting. In fact, let's target this. And what we're going to do is we're going to get roughly aligned with our path around the planet. And when we stop heading away, actually, let's on purpose slow down our ascent. Right about there, we're going to accelerate upwards, and that's going to circularize our orbit somewhat. Because we just reached apoapsis, the furthest point away in our orbit. Now we're going to periapsis, which is the closest point in our orbit. But hopefully the closest point is not inside the gas giant. Nope, we just started heading away again, and we didn't enter, so that's fine. So we're going to do basically circularization of our orbit here if we can. A little hard to tell when we can't quite tell if we're orbiting the right direction, but we should be able to notice when that slows down. Stops ascending. Closer, and thrust upward a little bit to give us a little extra boost. Maybe not quite that much. That's pretty good. Now, we do have the problem that comet might exert a mild gravitational force on us, but it's not too bad. So having circularized our orbit, unbuckle, that means that we're not going to fall into the planet, and now we should be able to pop out. Oh, God! Oh, that's terrifying. That first moment when you suddenly realize you do not have the safety of your ship to keep you... Anyway, so both me and the ship are orbiting the planet, and as long as we don't get too far apart, we'll continue orbiting it in at roughly the same time. What that means is, having gotten everything nicely circular, you don't have to know any of this, by the way, to play the game. There we go. I've seen lots of people with, there are people who I don't think have probably played too many flight sims or are necessarily that interested in space, able to manage getting around in this, at least in the PC version, perfectly fine. So please don't take this as any indication that you have to know how to actually fly a spacecraft or know about orbital mechanics or any of that. You can do a lot of this on pure intuition. Mind you, fixing your ship by circularizing your orbit to make sure you don't crash into the planet is... I'll grant you a little bit cocky for this kind of game. You don't need it. You don't need any of that. I'm just doing it because I know how and because I'm showing off a little bit. What can I say? All right, so be button buckle up. All right, so we're just happily orbiting this, and that's interesting. We just had a moon pass us. Can we go back down? Shall we go back down? All right, so to do that, we're gonna do this quote the right way, unquote, which is just cocky way of saying we're going to get ourselves so that we're basically lined up orbiting the planet, and we're gonna slow down because the the easiest way to get into the planet isn't to aim at it and go fast. It's to stop your sideways motion. That's the easiest way to actually start plummeting into the planet. It doesn't hurt to give a little forwards boost, but what you really want to do is stop your sideways motion. Then you'll just fall into it. Well, in this case, it was up and down motion, but you know what I mean. All right. It was not elegant, but it was okay. So let's see what else we can see. So that's the thing that we recently came off of. Now, I think we saw most of what we wanted to see there. We do have death and badness going, and we see what happens maybe when we crash into this. Not a lot. So it's not pulling us in, and it's not killing us. It's just keeping us from getting anywhere. So, oh, all right. So, oh, hello, another planet, or another landing thing. Another island landing thing. Words, make with the words and the thinky. All right, so, that actually looks like something I could land on, so that's for next time. Now I'm tumbling, so let's see if I can right myself. This is way easier to do on a PC, as it turns out, maybe even with a game controller. Still learning how to do it in VR. That's a different one. That looks like it actually has structures on it, so that's interesting. Whoa. Whoa. Let's find out if we just fly into, there's an island with smoke come out of it, so that's kind of interesting. And, oh, hello, I'm sliding sideways into a tornado. Don't know exactly what happened here. Oh god, somehow I got turned completely upside down while I was in a tornado and death happened. Okay, so that's a thing. Test. What do we have here? Alright, I don't know what happened there. I think I accidentally kicked my headset off by grabbing it weirdly, so that's fine. I don't seem to have game audio anymore, and it's not clear to me why. I don't know how long that's been the case. I'm pretty sure you all had my vocal, the microphone, blah, can't words today. I think you all had my microphone throughout most of that, but I don't seem to have the main game audio, which is a little bit peculiar. Do you have it now? Yes, it appears so. All right. Let's keep going. Never mind. Anyway, so I'm playing, for those of you just showing up, I'm playing Outer Wilds, one of my favorite games of all time. It ticks all my boxes for storytelling and space stuff and flight and now VR. So, except I seem to be really short because I think that it has reset my view in a weird way. So, we're just going to try to figure out why this has happened. Interesting. Well, we are going to go to... That's cool. This is new. I have not seen this, that we can customize behavior on applications on a pure headset basis. This is really cool. So I could actually fiddle with it. This is nice. It didn't used to be that you could, I at least don't remember it being that you could actually set this stuff on a per app basis. So this is more stuff I can fiddle with. This is not what I'm after. I'm actually reset VR position. Yes, please. Resume. There we go. Now in the proper height. There we go. So I got more toys to play with. Huzzah! And actually one of them I'm pretty sure, I'm guessing, I bumped this up to 90 hertz. This is a little bit graphically heavy in a few spots for 90 hertz, especially given that it hasn't been optimized for VR. I might have to bump that down to 72 because my last tests were at 72. But that's all right. That's one of the things I can fiddle with later. And actually, still feeling pretty smooth. Actually, it's not half bad. Right. So we're back here again. What are we waiting around for? We're not making progress. Let's make some progress. Ah, oh, so beautiful. So beautiful. All right, we're gonna get into our suit. We're gonna pop down into the seat, and we're gonna take off, and we're just gonna get on with it already. Because I do have a tendency to babble. All right, so we're bypassing Brittle Hollow. We are actually, in fact, gonna try to find Giant's Deep. I think that was actually closer to the sun, so we're gonna nip around. Nip around the sun edge, or the planet's edge here, and now we're going to try to find Giant's Deep. There is our mysterious moon, and there's Giant's Deep. So what we're going to do is we're going to set that, and we're going to long press. There we go. Haha. Now we're just going to head straight for it. I have you now. This is definitely not the Attlerock. And if you've been paying any attention to all of my ramblings, you know exactly what this is, except that I don't seem to be able to land on it, so that's just not great. But we're going to go and deal with getting to Giant's Deep again, but we do have the problem that we got a great god-awful star in our way. And so we're not going to engage the autopilot, because the autopilot is not smart. Pretty much does a straight-line suicide burn, which is a way of saying basically it accelerates halfway, decelerates halfway, and tries to stop you. Well, I guess it's not technically a suicide burn because it doesn't try to stop you at the surface, but it does try to stop you basically at a fixed point from the planet, which is fine as long as there's nothing between you and it. And having a great big star in the way is a pain in the butt. But now that we're past the sun and not likely to fall into it, autopilot is still the fastest way to get to most places in this solar system because of that suicide burn. If you can see, it's accelerating first. And then partway along, it switches around to deceleration, and it's always doing it with the maximal amount of thrust, so it's wasting no time. Now I've forgotten to turn on my timer again, but I'm in space, and now that I'm looking at this real closely, take a look at that. We can just see there appears to be somewhere to land on that. But I got a few places on the surface to check out first, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm coming in, and I'm going to apply some retro thrust here. Then I'm going to tilt up, and apply the ground burning. You can see it is auto-orienting my belly towards the ground, which it should. And I was having trouble with that when I was on Timber Hearth and the Attlerock. So I'm not sure when it kicks in and when it doesn't, but that's okay. I can manually roll. And I'm getting more used to the controls. And let me tell you, boy howdy is this fun. Like, I wish I could really do this. This is just... Alright, so we're hunting around to see if we can find stuff to land on. Alright, this is our first encounter. So let's slide up and then just something like that. That looks like a landing pad to me. Oh, not that button. I'm going to be saying not that button forever in this game. Looking down again, now that we know how to do this, press the B button. Not that with the... I don't want the signal scope, thank you. That's fine. There we go. B button, open hatch. Yeah, all of our tools are around our belt here, which is a very common VR tactic, and that's actually something you don't have in the PC game, because you don't need to. You just have buttons that bring everything up. But in VR, the VR mod author took the time to put all of the instruments around the belt so you can physically grab them and do stuff with them. And I find that fantastic. So for those of you who haven't seen me explain what's going on with regards to that, now you know. Go back and see my other videos. So all your tools are around you. That's a great mechanic as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. So let's go and check out. Let's go and check out. So it's a big honking cliff. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing to see all the way above you. All right, and that feels like a ledge. All right, so what do we got here? So we want to use a jetpack booster. So this is ostensibly, if you haven't figured out the jetpack booster before by fiddling with the system, fiddling with the controls, this is where you would actually get taught about it. And what this means is I need to do the jetpack, but the jetpack alone isn't enough, so I need to do the jetpack and jump, which should give me... Nope, that did not work. Why did that not work? Pull right hand trigger. Oh, it's the trigger, it's not the grip. Right, okay. There it is. So this and jump gives me the boost. But I also have, if you can see that text on my screen, 2.0 Gs. And that's heavy. Or is that 2.8? I can't quite tell. It's in the corner of my view. Oh. That's a problem. Alright, so here we go. I can boost over that, and I can boost over that. But now we have a different problem. Alright, so we're being lifted up into space. And on its own, that's not terrifying until you realize that you're floating around freely, and so I'm going to stay close to the ground here. Oh, I got a ship log updated because I was staring at a statue. Doesn't this guy look familiar? We've seen him a couple of times, but this is the first time we've seen something quite that... Oh, splashdown. Something that intact. Now, we do remember stories from when we were back in the village about how Feldspar, Gabbro came here, that's why we're here, and that he arranged transportation of the statue that's at the museum to be in the museum. He arranged for the transport. But he clearly got it from somewhere around, maybe somewhere around here, or at least this is another one of them. So what do we got here? That's text to read, reach across, grab the translator tool, point, and click. Point and not click with that. Point and B button. Too close, okay. There we go. Statue workshop. This door kind of thing, I don't know if we've seen a door of this shape before. Where would we have? Would we have seen this on Brittle Hollow? Maybe. But this is clearly some sort of door, but we can't get past it. Doesn't seem to be anything to interact with. No doorknobs, so we're going to go elsewhere. Whoa, hello. We're sideways, and we're sideways because of these gravity crystals. We've seen these all over Brittle Hollow. And we've seen them in the museum, so we know exactly what they're all about. Whoops! Whoa! Hello! Over again we go. As disorienting as this is on the PC, it's about 1,000,000 times more disorienting in first person, let me tell you. I mean, seriously first person. Alright. So this is cool. It's actually really peaceful. Like, it feels like a... I don't know. Just a... a little temple-like, but it kind of feels a little bit like a backyard, too. A little bit. Nice little alcove. Very peaceful in here. I mean, I'm not getting a lot of the weather from around. Alright, we don't have a lot of lift here, so we don't want to get into spaces we can't get out of like this. Ugh! Alright. I'm going to actually check up over this bridge here first, because this bridge leads back over, obviously, above that other crop of land where we landed, and it's not likely to be very big. So let's investigate this first. Oh, more trees. 8 trees. Oh, we've seen this before. We have been to Whitehole Station and come back, and that's how we know about the teleporter pads. We saw one of these outside one of the teleporter pads before, and in fact, we saw this ring of lights around the teleporter pad, so we can conclude, in fact, that this is the teleporter pad. Let's go teleport. Well, at least let's look at the teleport. Alright. So, text, reach over, grab our translator tool. Not what I wanted, there we go. Phlox, welcome to Giant's Deep, friends. I'm excited for you to meet the statues. Alright. If I'm not at my dwelling, I'm likely in my workshop below, inside the island. Oh, well, we're totally going and looking at that. But, so here we are, standing on this. We don't really notice anything about this whole alignment thing we were talking about. And the Astute, if you're really, really paying attention, again, yes, I played this before. This is my first time doing it in VR. I played it before, so I know what this is about. But you could, in principle, deduce that this one looks more like the receiving station at Brittle Hollow after we landed, rather than the one on Brittle Hollow that we departed from. In any case, we could stand here forever and nothing's going to happen. So we're not going to stick around for the sake of brevity. Taking the shortcut of foreknowledge to not screw around with that. But that being said, this is clearly a teleporter related. I don't think there's anything else around the outer edge of here except for a very tall cliff, which we don't want to fall off. Oh, wow. Like those storms are literally sort of projecting up and off the surface. They appear seriously a lot more menacing. And the weird thing is the big tornado is there, right? But it's slightly foreshortened because it's like over the turn of the curvature of the planet. But the funny thing is you really feel the curvature of the planet here too. And part of it is, oh my goodness, that is, wow. All right, that's a thing. All right, so let's cheat. Let's like book it over here while we can. Oh God, let's get back down though. And haha! So many Let's Players. It's neat to hear their voices, or when you can see their faces light up when they realize what those are for. It's great, absolutely lovely. So we're gonna fall down. Apparently, we're gonna quickly scoot up the side here. All right. Are you passing us by, or are you going to be a problem for us again? Oh. That's a lot more terrifyingly close when it's literally right over there. Alright. Well, that's enough sightseeing. That's totally a lie. It's never enough sightseeing. Sightseeing forever, man. Alright, so here we go. That is Crazy Town. We're currently standing on top of a lattice through which I can see through, and through which I can see all sorts of stuff going on in a chamber beneath me, but there's no holes in here that it's obvious I could get through. So let's read this. Untranslated, no my writing. Here we go. Lami. They're going to test the memory statues tonight. Phlox says it could be dangerous, so we can't come. But what if we didn't use the door and snuck in the other way? Does anyone want to? Phlox, Taggett says, Phlox specifically told us not to do that. Levy, I really want to see the test too, Lami, but that's a huge risk to take. We probably shouldn't. Maybe Phlox will let us see a later test. So, I think that's clearly written by kids. Let's turn my light back on. Grab the probe launcher from the tool belt. See, and text like this has been altered by the mod developer because that's clearly not part of the original design. So they've done a lot of work to modify all the prompts, or at least a good number of them too. So grip and right hand B button to launch Scout. So I got the grip, right hand B button. Okay, so that's that. And then having done that, long press retrieves it, right hand B button takes a snapshot. So, oh, yeah, okay, so we can do that. And once we've started doing that, we can then rotate that around to look around. And... okay, so it's landed in a way that I have, like, on the side of a rock. So it's not really looking forward, so I can't really pan in the way that I want to. But I really want to get down there because there's a lot of neat stuff down there. I'm not even going to belabor let's just retrieve that if we can we? With the scout, yes, we can do that. Good. I'm not going to belabor shooting my probe all the way down there because I know we're definitely going down there. Our ship has gone... how has our ship gone elsewhere? I thought we got our ship in a nice safe spot in a landing pad. Oh well, I guess that's a... oh, no, it's only 153 meters just up ahead. That's, okay, so it is where it's supposed to be. Right, well... I'm not gonna belabor this point either. I know how to get into the island, and anybody could suspect this if they futzed around enough, but for the sake of the stream, because I know how to do it, I'm just gonna do it. And that is to go... oh, could have died on impact there if I wasn't careful. The trick here, of course, if you can't go through the doorway and you can't get invited in and you can't teleport in, how about going under? Treat everything in 3 dimensions. Eventually, everybody figures this out. So, you can actually get your ship up in here, so that's a thing. Not a lot of reason to do it unless there's a few of these things that you want to cheese a little bit more than normal. So we come here to the door. If we grab that, we can, point at it and wiggle our hand around. But in this case, that just opens our way out, and we can recognize the broken bits of door out there. So that gets us back out, but that's not where we want to go, obviously. By the way, lovely audio in here. The somberness of this music, because you're encountering, we could essentially be almost a temple if it weren't sort of a scientific workshop. It's absolutely lovely notion in here that they are carving out these statues for some bigger purpose. This, however, is the slightly more somber part of it, which is... wow. Maybe in the middle of work, literally passing on. Partially completed statue, very lovely work. Alright, now here we have to do this properly. Oh, whoa, whoa! That is totally a bad thing, because we are going to have a bad day if we land on solid rock after a drop from space. So I'm going to get us in our little protective bubble here. Alright, so let's quickly take advantage of the fact that we're on the ground. So we need our translator tool for that, so grabbing that. Uh-oh. We okay? Yeah, we're okay. Okay. So here we go. Untranslated, know my writing. Yarrow, would you kindly step back so Daz is closest to the statue? When pairing, the statue will choose whoever is in closest proximity. Right-hand joystick is to page text. Okay. Use the thumb. Alright, Phlox. See how its eyes have opened? That tells us the statue is paired with Daz. Now, no matter where he is in the star system, Daz's statue will record his memories and send them to the Ash Twin Project. Yarrow, this is extraordinary sculpting work, Phlox. Daz. He has outdone himself again, hasn't he? And now that we have our first successful pairing, we can test my memory storage prototype. Daz. Each statue will send a single Nomai's memories to his or her own storage unit within Ash Twin. Phlox. Each storage unit will be equipped with a mask, the statue's counterpart, which will be able to send those stored memories back to the corresponding Nomai. So there's some interesting implications here. Not the least of which is that that these statues are paired with masks. I think we've seen masks before, possibly inside of the Ashwin project by way of some of the projection pools that we've used. But more importantly, we know that we had an interaction with a statue which they just described, which means that there's something relating to a mask that's also associated with me. So that's one implication. There's also an interesting point here, a very subtle point. In the very first episode, just after you leave the statue for the first time, you talk with name of the character temporarily escapes me. He mentions that part of the ship's electronic system and log system was built out of pieces of the statue that seem to be able to retain memory. So there's some association between our computer on the ship and this technology as well, although that's a very subtle point and it's not really harped upon at all. Here, we have a description maybe of masks. That's clearly a Nomai without any of the space equipment on, and possibly a statue, so there's this weird trifecta thing going on here. We are running out of time, so we're going to have to come back here after the loop. But before we die horribly, let's take a quick trip up here. So much material to get to. We're not going to have time to read this, so we're going to come straight back here after the loop. And after we get a great big glass of water. We can also see something up there. I don't see how we're going to get up there, because we certainly can't make that leap. Of course, I do know how to get up there, and we will solve that when we get back. And by the way, this is a lovely chamber to be in. To just stand in. Love this. All right. We're not going to see much of the explosion in here. Barely see anything through that window. But we will see the lightning of the clouds and its projection onto the stone momentarily. There it is. And the silhouetting of the trees. And then everything goes boom. Alright, so temporary break while I clear my eyes and reset my timer, which I forgot to do. Fortunately, you have no viewers coming up in space. Wow. Okay. And of course, we are looking at all the stuff that we've done since last. Oh. Alright. What are we looking at? Okay, so I'm finding I'm getting a sorer throat than normal. I guess I'm a little bit out of practice doing that. Rather than making myself miserable, I am going to totally cave and just keep on playing this because I'm an idiot. So, let me see. What do I need in order to keep going? I think that's largely it. I don't have any more coffee, do I? Did I finish off my last batch of coffee? I'm going in the other room. Full and professional, and don't do this for a living. Oh, hell, I've eaten really crunchy potato chips on stream before, and you can't stop me. Alright, so, alright. I'm going to take a few seconds break here, so just hang on for a moment. I am AFK. When I'm going to come back in a second, I am just going to take a break to answer some Steam messages that have popped up elsewhere, and that's basically things and stuff I'm going to do. Back in a second. I'm not going to halt the stream, but I'm just going to be back in a second. Right, testing my audio again and getting us back into the mix here. I'm going to switch right back over to Outer Wilds. Hopefully this is all working out. Now, having just come out, I'm going to double check to make sure my stream is actually working. Right, and I seem to be getting my own vocals, and I think it's going to be recording desktop audio the minute I hit resume. So I think we're in good shape here. So what I'm going to do is, my voice is getting a little bit sore. So what I'm going to do is, it's already an hour and a half. I'm going to go back to, I can talk about this while I'm doing it and not waste time, is what I can do. Oh, wow. I know I keep saying that every time I come back. This is just beautiful. Like, I want to curl up at the... You know what I want to do? I want to start the game, and I want to, like, engage a mod that turns the... Spoiler territory, please go away if you haven't already played this game. I'm going to disable the mechanic that would prevent what I would like to do here, which is just to sit here forever just beside the campfire. Like, I'd like to virtually read a book beside this virtual campfire with my buddy here. This is peaceful. This is just lovely. All right, enough of that. I'm going to wax fanboyish about this forever if you let me. And there's nobody to stop me, so we're going to just get right on with this. However, I did realize that I accidentally forgot to turn my timer on, just to check the chat room. You got a timer? Yeah, so that's my chat room timer. I keep forgetting to turn it on. It's just so that I remind myself to check the chat room in case anybody happens to stumble in. I am going to go and check Phlox's underground lab and possibly one other island on Giant's Deep. Quite likely one other island on Giant's Deep. Try to get them fully explored before I hang up my spurs for the day. I've got other things to do this evening. Otherwise, I would stay playing this for quite a lot longer. Squee! I love this game. I want more of these sorts of games in VR, where I can, where I'm happy to just be, and yet there's lots of stuff. So I get myself right over my seat here, so it feels a little bit more natural. All right, now what I really want to do is I want to find Giant's Deep. So, best way to do that, haha, is to follow along a plane of the solar system, because this solar system is more or less exactly planar. Everything operates along a plane. Ours is our own solar system is mostly planar. Most of the things are, looked at edge on, looks like a pie plate, edge of a pie plate. Everything at various distances from the center of the pie plate. I'm gonna die. Here's the sun. All right, I have totally done that to myself. Yeah. And I knew it was happening as it was happening, which is, I think, why I was speaking quickly, because I suspected. Anyway, the solar system is planar. That's how a lot of solar systems, I guess, kind of form out of dust disks. Which means that if you can identify the line on which things, or the sort of the line across the sky on which things seem to exist when you leave one planet, you can probably find the others. Or you can get above the entire plane and look at the pie tin face on and spot it that way, but if you're leaving a planet, you're already on the plane by definition, roughly. So, the trick to that then is, check that out. So, in a line, the sun and at least Ember and Ash twin, and we'll keep going around the line, and we should see most other things. Yep, there's the thing we want to go to, and we're going to accelerate towards it right away, so we don't have the problem of the whole sun thing again. And in fact, we're not even going to bother. We're going to lock onto it so that we get an idea of what our vector is. So, that's rotation, right? Come on. Gotta remember the controls in this particular... I want to go to that orbiting station. For those of you who have played this with me before, you know why I want to go to that orbiting station. But we're not going to the orbiting station. We're playing this as if we don't know about what's on the orbiting station. Not that we wouldn't go everywhere anyway, but I'm just doing this in an order that I feel is nicely story directed. Just in any way to imply that it's the only way to play this. In fact, the one thing I absolutely adore about this game, and I've seen this through the, I'm slightly embarrassed to say this, probably 3 or 4 dozen complete playthroughs that I've seen by other people on this game. Everybody does it a little bit differently. Some of them take the clues that they discover to heart and piece it together early. Others just go where they happen to want to go to and absorb stuff in a more organic way. It's not the island I want to go to yet. And then, as things start to fill in, they start to get curious about the threads that are forming from all that knowledge, and then start to buckle down and dig a little deeper. And some just go wherever the "I haven't been here yet" question marks lead them. Whoa! That was a little enthusiastic. There's the island I want to go to. Tilt up. Slide over sideways. That was a little bit of a heavy landing, but I'll take it. Everybody does it differently. B button. There we go. Yay. And a tornado almost immediately, but we might be able to take advantage of that, actually. And in any case, we do want to go under. So let's... do that and get in. So throughout all the playthroughs that I've seen of other people playing this and experiencing with everything from confusion to joy about various aspects of this game, they all come at it from different directions. So the way I'm doing it is certainly by no means the only order that it makes sense to do anything. I'm just following threads I know exist so that I can piece it together in a coherent way right from the beginning to some degree. And in any case, I'm just going to adjust my central position there. It snapped my feet to underneath me, so that's okay. Do I need to B button? This is a little tricky in VR because the hitbox is a little weird, but there we go. Insert into the projection stone. Now we get a wall of text. Reach over, grab my text reading device. Here we go. Raimi. I've installed the masks inside the Ash Twin Project Phlox. I think we've seen that, right? When we were in the mine, we had a very good view of that. A mining site 2B back on Timber Hearth. They look beautiful, although I do feel as if I'm being observed. Raimi, it's comforting to know that the statues will not pair until the project succeeds. Otherwise, I imagine the experience would be hard to endure. Phlox. Ideally, they'll only need to activate once the project succeeds, as a safety measure. However, the statues will also activate in the event of equipment failure. Raimi, they will? Why is that? Phlox. If anything goes wrong with the Ash Twin project, the statues and their masks will make us aware of the situation and enable us to fix it. Otherwise, it would be possible for us to remain permanently unaware of the problem. Raimi, I hadn't thought of that. What a profoundly horrific fate that would be. Now, that last statement is not clear as to what that means until you have the full scope of this thing. You might be able to guess at it, but as we get on, I may refer back to this message because I think it would be profoundly horrific to get caught in a way where we don't know what's going on. In fact, that's the position in a way that we find ourselves in, and we have been paired with everything. If we had even less knowledge, then we would be unaware of the fate that we have trapped ourselves in. So, but we don't know anything about that yet, technically. Once again, for those of us coming in late, I have played this game fully through, so I am aware of stuff in the future. I'm trying not to allude to it too much as I'm playing through, because I'm playing through it as an exploratory gesture to people who want to watch this, and experience a little bit of what I'm experiencing, revisiting this in VR, because it's my first VR time in this space. But I do know much about what's going on in this. If you ever have an opportunity to watch Let's Players who have never played this before, you should. But of course, if you haven't played this before, what the hell are you even doing watching this? Go play this yourself. You should not be being spoiled by something this lore heavy. Go and play it yourself. It is worth it. It's worth every penny, as far as I'm concerned, for anybody who has an appreciation for storytelling games. So, insert the Ash Twin projection stone. Let's go take a look at this. So, this. Oh, that is lovely. This is even more terrifying being in here. But by the way, you can actually get a sense of the shape of this space way more easily in VR because you're actually in the space, and you get a little bit of the sense of the depth of the space that we're in. So I can tell, for example, that I'm in a large rotating chamber. I can tell that there's some sort of central spindle because of the way it's occluding the stars, if you want, that are curling overhead, right? I can't see a lot of the shape above us exactly, but I can tell the space that we're in some degree. That being said, looking down around me, typical pool from the projection pools that use liquid metal to convey messages in shapes to people on the other side. Lovely little telephone system. This is, I expect, a neat little precursor to any sort of holographic system we will eventually build. Not because we'll eventually have liquid pools projecting ourselves, but we'll probably have, holographic light blobs or the like. Maybe xenon gas chambers with laser projection, who knows? And I have no idea that's why. We were starting to float up above the pool, and the reason for that is because we were floating up above the pool in real life. Good thing to notice that. Before we came crashing down, or we would be dead. Here's the problem. I want to get over there. I do not have the rocket juice to do that. I know I don't have the rocket juice to do that. The furthest up I can get is that. And that's as long as I can sustain the jet. I literally can't get up there unless I have a tornado to help me. That is also, by the way, a fantastic thing to watch other people discover. Ooh, maybe I can, and they actually figure this bit out. I've seen one person attempt to do a really cheesy drag the ship in here and cheese it against the side of the ledge to get up there landing, and they succeeded, and masterful applause. Totally not the way you're intended to do that, but that's the great thing about this game. You can do all sorts of crazy stuff in this game that are based on pure physics, and cheese a lot of stuff, because it doesn't matter. If you can get up there, you've earned learning the thing that you toiled to get up there, and the game doesn't penalize you for that. Very few things that you learn in this game you are penalized for learning in the wrong order, except in the sense of how it fits the narrative together in your head. You might not like discovering later things before early things. Maybe your brain doesn't work that way, and that's fine. I kind of get that. I like going forward rather than backward, but this game is all about the archaeology, so in a sense you are doing it backward. You are here in this solar system well after all of the events that have occurred. We have almost no oxygen. That's a problem. I don't think we have oxygen in here. Can we... Okay, whoa! Let's see... We are running out of oxygen. Can we make it to our ship? Plausibly. It's going to be tight. No! No! If I'd noticed that I was running out of oxygen only a little bit sooner, because I was just standing there waxing eloquent about the game. Well, damn. Alright. Oh, hello. I have a visitor. And some people find the late clues by accident and are completely clueless what they mean until right near the end. You see, that's the thing that they've done really, really well in this game. You can discover a lot of things a little bit early and not realize that you've done them. or that you've discovered them. Like, the context of the things matters a lot. And in a way, they've made the game, they've written the narrative of the game so well that everything depends on context. And so everything matters the most when you get to the end and can tie it all together, which makes the very way that they built the completely open-ended the discovery of this completely amazing. I've seen so many different playthroughs with so many different avenues of approaching information, and it's amazing to see them pieced together in completely different ways. And they've got, about 5 or 6 different main story threads and a bunch of smaller ones, and they all intertwine in a way that it matters that you find it all out if you really want to know what's going on, but it doesn't matter the order that you do it in, and you aren't penalized for it. That's the thing that's amazing that they've done, right? Yeah, it boggles my mind that they managed to do this. This is a one for me. I know very few people are necessarily going to agree with me about this statement alone, because everybody has different tastes. And I do love and adore a lot of games, but for me, this was rare enough that I would call it a once in a decade kind of game. Not because it's the only game that does a lot of these things well, but it's so rare to see that them put it together in one package so lovingly. And that just happens to align with my particular qualities of games I like. So, take that for whatever it's worth. Your mileage may vary, but for a lot of people, regardless of whether they would say what I just did, I would recommend this game. And games like it. Like, if you can find games that are masterful like this, in terms of the scope of what it's trying to do, hey, leave me a comment and recommend it to me, because I definitely like to see more. But I do like a lot of games, so, Okay, come on. Where are we? It's gotta be following along the line of the plane of the solar system. There it is. Except it's probably going... Anyway, my point in enjoying this game this time around is obviously because I found a VR mod which, to my complete shock, actually works. Because most games, as far as I'm concerned, do not do well as mod conversions to VR, because there's just too much. It's not just stereoscopic viewing, it's the whole interaction space, but this mod author has done a fantastic job. So for those of you coming in late, nothing but praise for this specific mod author for this specific game. It's a hard task even when you have a huge budget in the original source code, so it's serious labor of love here. Right, we are just barreling in towards the planet, and Retro Boost, nope, that was not Retro Boost. This is, because my controls are totally different from Pulsar. There we go. Alright, so there we go. Alright, so we are very quickly going to just, clear off that one ledge on that island. I don't like leaving it there because it's going to nag at me. And it's pretty easy to get to, and if we get there soon, we'll probably get the tornado we need to get up there. Is that the one? That is the one. And then we can get off of this island and go to one other before I call it quits. Whoa! Bit enthusiastic, because this is fully in VR, and boy howdy does that ever get your blood pumping. So, yeah. I am in my spacesuit, aren't I? Yes, I was just thinking, did I just do the ultimate face palm and leave my ship without my suit? It will happen on VR. I don't remember if it's happened in this series. Might have happened in one of the videos of this that I got archived over on the YouTube channel. Right, so... And jump. And jump. Actually, we want to go under anyway, so we kind of want to go down. Boy, if I wasn't slightly thalassophobic going into this game, this planet might definitely do it. Alright, let's we're now in here, so it's less concerning if we make good time, but I want to be prepped to be in exactly the right spot to take advantage. I don't want to waste a lot of time in here. I just don't like leaving really fun little wall text unexplored. And since I know where it is, so... we are going to stand right here and wait for a tornado to come by. Which, of course, doesn't leave me much to do except to sit here and talk, but... I'm going to reset my timer right now because I'm sitting here and talking anyway. So there's my 10-minute mark. Right, okay, so yeah, we're definitely not getting up there. Come on, tornado, don't disappoint me. So while we're waiting for that to come along, actually, why don't I punt down here? Come on, tornado, come pick me up. Don't make me wait. It's already going to be not that worth it for people watching the stream. Yeah, there's just something... something extra special about being able to be... in this space, having that sensation that this place was actually carved out. It's not just a map on a computer screen. I feel like I'm standing on this ledge. That is way below my apartment floor, and there is the wind, so here we go. We gotta make good time here. And we are gonna cut ourselves off from the VR thing and dump us straight into... ah, there we go. Yeah, so we're just suspended here while it drops us down on the floor. Are we good? I think we're good. And we're up here. Yay. So, quickly, let's do this and then get on to another island. Here we go. Here we go. Phlox, I'm curious, is sending a being's memories back in time the same as sending the being itself back in time? Phlox, as an example, if we were to send my memories back in time, is that the same as sending me back in time? Not my physical body, but my essence. Daz, I imagine they're two different actions. Cassava, wouldn't both actions be effectively the same? Daz, suppose that time was being rewritten. I believe this is different than receiving memories from what is effectively the future. Cassava, but isn't the end result identical in either case? That is an interesting little bit of philosophy. I love this conversation. It's not super important. And now we have 3 minutes of oxygen remaining. Let's fix this. Let's not die. I'm going to try to take as direct a route as I can, which should be just below this. I love the underwater plants here, by the way. What a nice little detail. Underwater roots down there. Yeah, I got enough time to do it this time. It's a lovely little conversation for a couple of reasons. One, it's kind of a neat little philosophical thing to ask. Like, for example, me, I don't know if there really is a particular... hang on a second. B button. So we're totally souped up on medkits. I don't know if it actually does really matter in any practical sense. You're still potentially taking your future self down a different direction than you otherwise would have. And there's all sorts of problems with time travel I'm not even going to slightly get into here. But the other thing that's interesting about that conversation is to point out that we're starting to talk more about time travel in that little discussion that hasn't been seen in a lot of the other chit-chat in any of the lore that we've seen. Like, it's a little bit more direct. Is that... that's the spaceship we saw before. The reason why that's kind of interesting is if you took the time to get up there, and took the effort to get up there and figure out how to get up there, we're going to land... I think actually we're going to take the time to land over at Gabbros. And I know where that is. I apologize for breaking form by mentioning things I shouldn't already know, but in any case, I'm having a little bit of difficulty locating a spot, and that's a little bit heady. There we go. Smoke probably indicates another one of our crew. There is a way, obviously, I could track them. I could actually use a signal scope to track them through space, but I already know where they are, so... I'm going to land here. Yep, whoa. And... good enough. These things can take a beating, and I'm relatively happy about that. Right, so let's drop down. So take a look. He does have a nice little island here, I have to admit. Here we go. Hey, buddy. Unidentified signal nearby. Now, we don't need to do this, but I really hate leaving the signal unidentified, so that's just me. We could have tracked him this way. Now, we don't have to, so. Hi, buddy. How you doing? Let's talk to Gabbro. Nice. It's you. Good to see you made it here in one piece. The first solo launch is a doozy, isn't it? So, hey, don't freak out or anything, but lately I keep, dying repeatedly. I don't know. It's pretty weird. What about you? Have you died lately, or is it just me? No, it's me too. We're in a time loop. Time has been behaving unnaturally lately, unusually lately. Yeah, a time loop. That makes sense. Cool. You're taking this pretty well. Right back at ya. Personally, I like new experiences, and I've never been in a time loop before. I mean, I don't think I've been in a time loop before this one. Looks like you and I are the only ones who can tell that time's gone all weird. I tried radioing Hornfells and asking them if they'd died too, but they thought I was being metaphorical. Even if I tell Hornfells about the time loop, they never remember by the next one. They don't realize anything's different. And here's another weird one for you. Every time I die, all of my memories from that loop replay back to me. I'm pretty sure that's related to this big stone Nomai statue I found on one of the other islands. I think we found that one, actually. I was looking at it, and the statue opened its eyes and started glowing. Replayed my memories like it had seen them through my own eyes, just like what happens each time I die. That happened to me with a statue at the museum. You too, huh? Then the Nomai statues must have something to do with why we're the only ones aware of the time loop. So, no glowing statue, no time loop awareness? I think that's going to be my leading theory, but if you find out anything new about the statues of the time loop, let me know, okay? I'll be here. You, sir, are the most chill astronaut in the history of ever. Maybe. Except for Feldspar, but we haven't found him yet. Anyway, that's what's new with me. But hey, this is your first solo voyage, kind of. Let's talk about you, you know. How's space treating you? Well, I found something. Nice. What you got for me? I reached the inside of Statue Island. So the Nomai created these head statues to record memories, huh? Yeah, I could see the Nomai doing that. Not sure what for, but it seems like their sort of thing. Do you think the statues are recording our memories, then? 'Cause I remember that one on the beach looked at me funny. Must be my memory friend. Fair enough. Have you ever watched a cyclone for so long it started to hypnotize you? I'm telling you, they'll put you in a trance if you stare at them long enough. So what are you doing out here? Well, what are any of us doing here, really? Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm out here exploring our solar system, same as you. But I tell you what, we're going to delay that conversation until after we get lifted off into space. And, dude, seriously, you are ridiculously chill. But that does look like an amazingly comfortable hammock. I kind of wish I had a space hammock now. That is ridiculous and awesome. So there's our check the chat room to see if anybody said anything timer, and no, nobody has said anything. So we are going to reset the timer and get right back in. Hey, look, I love this. I have gotten this down to a science. I am totally lying. I don't know what I'm doing at all, but that's all right. So, right. Yes, we've already... So, how's it treating you? So, what are you doing out here? We've gone through this and this. I tell you, outer space really gives you room to think. It's quiet and peaceful out here. I mean, it's usually quiet and peaceful. Sometimes a cyclone comes by and lifts my little island paradise clean out of the water. Whoops. I think I hit the back button, but I don't think we're getting out of that line anyway. Where are we going to explore on Giant's Deep? Okay. Here's something you might like. At the start of every time loop, I keep seeing a bright flash in the sky at the start of every loop. Something must be happening up there in orbit around the planet. And we have seen that. I've remarked on it. I know what it is. Maybe you know what it is. But we haven't gone there yet because this is the first time we sort of had a direct mention of it. And that gives us a great story beat to go up there and take a look at some point. Right. What else? Have you been to Statue Island? That's what I've been calling it, seeing as it's the island where I found the glowing Nomai statue. Get it? I was on the beach on Statue Island when a whole glowy business happened. By the way, it's a nice beach for that sort of thing. I give it a solid 7 out of 10 on the Gabbro relaxation scale. If you feel like checking out Statue Island, it's the one where two islands connected by a natural rock arch. Well, mostly connected anyway, you'll see. Of course, we've been there, so. What's up with this planet? Haha, I know, right? Oh, you meant like tell you more about it. I gotcha. Well, Giant's Deep is massive and mostly water. No surprises there. There's a strong current a ways beneath the surface that prevents anything from sinking below it. Seriously, I tried everything I could think of to get past that current, and neither idea worked. Good on you, keep trying. As for land masses, I've counted 4 islands, including this one. There's also the one with that Nomai statue I saw on the beach. Well, I guess technically 5, and we've been to 3, because we've been to the ice column with a critter island that Feldspar was on. We've been to Statue Island, and we've been to this one. You've seen the cyclones? Yeah, they're hard to miss. They toss up everything in their path, islands included. Little tip, if you get picked up, try to land in the water. That's likely to kill you. Alright, where's your ship? That's a good question. It's definitely on this planet somewhere. I mean, unless a cyclone came by and tossed it into space, I guess. That would be pretty nuts. I hope it's not lonely. Aw, buddy. So that's all we're going to get out of you. But let's just take a look around anyway. I love this little cavern. It's kind of neat. So there's one end of what is probably a Ghost Matter hall, but I think that just leads around to the outside, so I'm not too worried about that. Let's just quickly check up here to see if there's anything interesting. I remember we forgot to roast a marshmallow on that island. So we're going to have to fix that. Because I refuse not to roast a marshmallow at every campfire. So this is, in fact, a campfire with marshmallows. So we're going to see if we can get the hitbox here. Refuel the jetpack there. We've got oxygen. Let's right-hand trigger, extend stick. There we go. Step forward a little bit. Get it just in a nice spot against the fire here. There we go. Let it back. munch on it. I'm feeling really good about that. Haha. So we're going to click the X button to put it away. So there we go. There's not anything really else up here. And so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to risk doing this. Hooah! All right, I didn't crack anything. I probably sprained an ankle, but I think I'm good. So let's hop back in our ship. We've talked to Gabbro. I'm feeling pretty positive about that. Whoa. Okay, we've got a tornado nearby that's just lifted Gabbro off into space, but we don't need to worry about that because we are going to leave Gabbro to his own devices until we discover more. And we're not going to discover more because we have run out of time this cycle. But what we're going to do... Okay, hang on. Let's just tilt up and land. And let's just see if we can... Actually, you know what? Let's not land. Let's... Come on. Twist around, please. That was a really bad twist. Can we just cheese it and... One of our thrusters? No, it's just the cockpit that's damaged. Okay, let's see if we can cheese this by doing this, and then this, and then we didn't die. Here we go. B button to light the campfire. B button to get a marshmallow on a stick. And then eat the marshmallow there. In case I had forgotten to do that last time, and I don't remember if I have now properly had a marshmallow at that campfire. I had to cheese it a little bit. I am never getting back into my ship now that it's all the way up there. But it doesn't matter because we are, in fact, at the end of the universe anyway. There is a lot more to discover even on the surface here, and I don't really want to do orbiting platforms just yet. How are we doing on time? We are doing on time 2 hours and 5 minutes. And I have somewhere to be in about 45 minutes. So what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to call it here for this session. But this is not going to be the last session I do this week. I'm really loving doing this, and it helps me get up and moving, which is a good thing. I know it doesn't seem like much because I can stand mostly in one spot, but any activity is good. I feel good about this. So, I am going to call this game here. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope any of you who have seen this particular session who has not played the game takes me at my word. Go get this game for yourself. It's been absolutely delightful. Thank you so much for sharing this stream with me. And so, yeah. I hope that you have a lovely game, a lovely day. I will see you in the next stream. Bye-bye.